I hope you are perfect, whole, and complete. I hope you are feeling amazing today. And yeah, y'all, I'm going into the deeper. Sorry, y'all can't get it off because it's my loose tooth. Anyway, I'm going into the deeper realms, and I wanted to see if you want to go with me. I'm going into the. I'm being required. I'm being asked to go into the deeper realm, and I wanted to see if y'all would come with me. So that is what we're doing. It is the time is 1:12 uh, p.m. in Ghana. You'd love to know the time, and I don't mind telling y'all. And the Hamaton, oh my God, I've been so dry, my lips. So I think I'm a little dehydrated. So I've been drinking a lot more water. I started a little bit last night, but I've really been on it today. Really been on it this morning, and I'm going to continue because, like I said, it's not just hot, it's very hot and it's very dry as well. But I'm going to wait till somebody familiar because I know, we got to go through cleaning the trash. So I'm just going to wait for the trash to come on to be empty, and then we'll get a moderator, and then we'll move on. And hopefully, maybe they'll move on one day too. We never know. One never knows. But I had a great morning. I spoke to a friend for 5 hours. Can you believe that? Like the fact I'm still talking, but we both are in similar situations. Yep, here. Oh, hey, Book Miss T Baby, Book Miss T Baby. I don't know why I've not ever made you the moderator, but you are always here, so you are officially the moderator, just in case they want to come in and do what they do. So I have a friend, and she lives in another country as well, and she's lived in the other country as long as I've lived here. So she's almost on 5 years. Thank you, darling. She's almost on 5 years as well, just like me. Almost five. About this, we came at the same time, but we're in different countries. She's in Asia. I'm in Africa, and she's gone back and forth to the States, but she basically is definitely is in the kind of same boat, if you will. And the thing about that is, you know, it's not still all that common. Although when you watch in the world of YouTube and stuff, it seems like it's more common that people live abroad. But it actually still, hey Marcello, but it actually still is not as common, not ordinary or everyday thing that you're going to find all those people that live abroad, and that you would know all those people that live abroad. Do you feel what I'm saying? So so book Miss T Baby. Marcello's fine. I don't know the other person. So they come in with nice words and then it'll be over. So I know you want it. Let me stay. So yeah, so it's not the easiest thing to do. So when you have another friend that is going through that, that's like you can't talk to that with everybody. We can't say, oh, let me call this other person who might still be living in wherever you lived and never really lived abroad, because you got some particular things that I feel like a lot of travelers or a lot of people that live abroad, a lot of things that they face. So, and so one of the things that I feel like I face is it wouldn't be what you think. It wouldn't be. Some people would say, do you ever get lonely? I've heard questions, and I want to really answer those questions about living abroad. It's almost like, so, so, uh, so, Book Miss T Baby, you got them. You can start taking them out now because you'll start seeing. You won't even have to wait for them to start. Yeah, you got it. No, don't even have to be respectful. Oh yeah, you're right. I'm gonna let you do your thing. You smart. Leave me alone. Let me leave them. Leave you alone. So anyway, so yeah, so there are things that people that live abroad might not be telling you because maybe they don't even know to tell you, or maybe nobody ever asked them, right? And I was watching this little some shorts that just came up, and it was like van lifers. That's the people that actually convert their van into a livable space, and they live and then they travel and they live. And one of the van lifers said things that she said, I almost quit living in my van like 4 or 5 times in how many 2 or 3 years that she lived. And she started telling like the real thing. Because, a lot of times YouTube, and I don't know if they even mean to do it or not, but they will glamorize these different alternative ways of living, or glamorize living abroad, or glamorize so many things, right? but you know they be struggling, but they want those views, and they don't know. They think that most people don't want to hear the what's not working, or don't do this, or at least do it, but do it with this caution, because they need that money, right? They start depending on the views, the clicks, the likes, the money, and so they won't tell. But now I like to see the people are coming more real. So I feel like the same way of living abroad. So talking about living abroad. And so one of the questions somebody asked me one time is, do you ever get lonely? And the answer is yes. Yes, you do get lonely. But I don't think, let me just say this, it's not any more lonely than when I used to get lonely in the States. That's the difference for me. So it's not I get lonely because I moved abroad or I'm not in my home country. It's the same, if you had anxiety in the States, the anxiety you'll probably have here. Maybe less in some ways, maybe more. If you got lonely, and you're going to get lonely here, and when you get lonely, you know what I'm saying? I just want people to know that part. That part is, yes, of course you get lonely. But is it more in another country? It depends. I was a loner a lot in the States, and I fit basically the same personality that I had then I have now, right? I tend to, I don't know if this is a good or bad thing, I just don't know how to not do it. So I've accepted it in myself. I tend to not go to the meetings a lot or join organizations, or I just think, like I said, yeah, well, no, but I feel like I'm kind of like socially awkward in so many ways. I'm so used to being with myself. I'm that introvert that things have to have a lot of meaning. I'm not always good in crowds, right? So I'm not as good as crowd here, except for the typical introvert is, except for when you get to know people and that they become more like family, then you're way more intimate, you're way more comfortable, you're way more can hang out with people. So it's not like introverts can't hang out with people, but it has to be people that they trust, people that they feel comfortable with, people that feel like family. It has to have some kind of like a family vibration, you feel me? So I'm the same exact way with the States. It's exactly the same. I'm the same person. That one is interesting, answering these questions that I've gotten over the years. I love it because it helps me to realize, so we want to get rid of that one for sure. We'll just get rid of that one. But I know you got it. They lying, girl. They be lying. So, but yes, when people ask me, I it really makes me help me to think and really think about myself. Do you get lonely? Yes, but not more than get lonely than I'm in the States. It's the same. Do I? What other questions? Do I sometimes want to come back? Do I sometimes say, forget all of this, I'm out? Oh, when I first got here in the beginning years, absolutely. I remember, I don't know if it was the second year or so, I would say, like, do I want to do this? If something didn't go right, or I had a culture shock about something, you absolutely question, right? But it's so interesting. Now I don't question it at all. I don't question it at all. It's like that's not an option for me. I don't see that ever happening. But yes, is there times in your journey of living abroad where you start thinking possibly? Everybody's different too. Yes, there is. Yes, there's times where you say, oh my God. But that time happened more in the second year, I would say. Maybe even, I'm going to say even the second and third. I feel like once you get past the third year, either you staying or not. Everybody has their time too. I know for me, if I move into an apartment, the first year, I'll give myself that chance, of course, to see if I like it. If I do it a second year, sometimes it's because I didn't have time to find a place. But after the second year, I would have to absolutely love the place to do a third year. So far I ain't did that nowhere. This is the second year here, so I guess I'm going for my third year. So yeah, because I absolutely love the place, right? So the States, what's the difference is I didn't have that luxury. Yes, I did. I wouldn't stay in a place more than 2 years if I didn't like it. Yes, I did the same thing. The 2 years made it caught me. It got me off guard. So same personality, really. Is it hard to make friends? Depending again on your personality. If it's easy for you to make friends in the States, it'll be easy for you to make friends abroad because that's your personality. That's who you are. I'll go back to that loner kind of person, and so I'm that same person. So I think people love me, my friend. I mean, I meet people all the time. But let me tell you another thing. A lot of times too, unless you really get into community, you meet people, but sometimes they're part timers, or they're passing through, or they leaving. They only here for a few years. That's the other that maybe someone would say the downside of traveling. Sometimes you do establish relationships with another traveler, right? And what travelers usually do is travel. So sometimes it's a hard to maintain. I think for a lot of people those relationships. A lot of the people that I meet that I would be interested in being closer friends with, a lot of times like the states calls them back. Maybe their mom is not well, or their dad, or their parents are ailing. They got to go back. That happens a lot with diasporans. A lot of them have to go back because their parents are ailing, or their children need them, or their grandchildren need them. So that one hasn't happened, for me yet. I mean, my mom's passed a long time. My dad's passed a long time. I mean, it would be probably my daughter that I would go back to if I had to, right? So, so you can meet people that you think that maybe this will be something, and just life will have to take them out. Life will move them along. So, there's that. Some will say, how do you deal with being away from your child, or being away from your parents, or whatever, even though you're older still, or being away from your friends and family, right? That is the most difficult part. It's everybody got to decide for themselves. Some people, how they deal with it is some people do 6 months here, 6 months there. Some people go back when needed, and some people like me, we just really haven't gone back. I'm not saying we'll never go back. I'm saying we haven't gone back. You get it? I wouldn't say we never. And so there's that too. You know what I mean? There's that as well. Like, my sister asked me today, how do you feel that you never went back? Like, do you feel bad? Do you feel, oh my God. And this is the thing, and this is something I'm really sharing with the public, because I was like saying, I'm sharing it with y'all, but I'm sharing it with everyone in the world that's listening. I don't know what that is. I do be feeling like, oh my God, I just gotta be with my daughter, I gotta be there. And then I get real. The reality is I really don't have anywhere to go back to. I think that's it. I don't. And, but that would be the okay answer, because it gives me a pass. I can't do that. I don't think that would be good for me to do that, to go back. Especially, it's a vibe, like I don't feel like it would be to my best interest. I think I would be putting more on my plate than I need. I think the moment, being there, but not being able there to support myself and well, to support her, they'll even get tired of me. They'll think it'll be cute at first. The first week, I think it'll be, oh my God, mommy's back, or sister's back, or niece is back. And then after a while, they're going to be like, I know my family. They're going to be like, so what you going to do? Because, and it's true. What you going to do? How you going to support yourself? Like, what are you? And then I come from a family that, they expect, ain't nobody going to take care of you like that, so you better figure it out. So at first, it's really great. They'll ask you to come back, and then the reality sets in. And I know that that's going to happen. The other thing is, I don't think I would be mentally happy there. So I can't do it. I can't do it. I feel like I can make it here until maybe I can't. I don't know, but I feel like I can make it here. So, a lot of times, so much has changed since I last left from the States. Since I last left, so much has changed. And it's not the same when I left in 2020 of March. I'm not the same. I don't see it, So now we're gonna get real. We digging, because we talk about facing our fears, right? So when I first got here, I would say this: can you come to a foreign country and not interact or get close to or have a family, so to speak. Have somebody that is of the natives, the locals, that could be somebody you call. I think you're going to need somebody. So if you are very much of an introvert, you're going to need somebody, and we're going to get deeper on it now, because that's when it becomes really lonely. But don't be dependent on. You have somebody, you have the divine most high. When you travel or live in another country, your faith has to be the strongest thing that you have. Because there's times that you are going to be alone, that the people you used to know you won't know anymore. There are going to be times when you're going to have those times where you don't have anybody that, not that you can depend on, meaning that there's nobody, that everybody's just bad and they're not good people, you can't depend on them. No, that sometimes they have to move on too. One thing about Ghanaians, they don't have a lot of time to baby you or cater to you because they're busy working. They got other things to do. So you have to really be on your spirituality. You have to really be connected to your higher self and your higher source. Because if you're not, it's going to feel all those things, lonely, isolating, but don't depend on anybody to be your anchor. Don't depend on people to save you. Not because they're not dependable, because that's not the way life is. So if you come out and you are a loner type, if you are more of an introvert, you have to understand that. And then be an introvert content creator. This is another level, because now at first you might start saying, oh, I want to do YouTube, I want to do some type of social media, and you'll start promoting your lifestyle abroad. But if it's not you, you're going to get tired of it. You're going to want to have the moments with yourself. You're going to want to not always be behind a screen seeing that thing for the first time. You want to really see it. You're going to, because you're an introvert. So think about the introverts that travel. There's time you need alone, but there's time that you know. So basically, people are going to come and go in your life. And just like people will come and go in your life in the States, because you don't have any blood relatives here, it's going to feel different. It's going to hit a little different. Because of some of us, we feel like, well, at least our family's there, right? I don't know how much my family could help me they can morally help me. They can, maybe financially here and there too, if that has to be, but the work of isolation, the feeling of isolation, the feeling of being lonely, the feeling of being with yourself, you're going to have to face that no matter where you go. And so you got to, wherever you are now, you want to prepare yourself to live abroad, you have to start working on those things now. If you get scared when you're alone, or you get to go through depression, you have to start working on that depression now. You have to start working on those fears now, because they're not going to automatically go away because you live in another country. That's what I'm saying. Welcome if it's your first time here. Thank you, sweetie. You're not going to be, I lived in Tanzania 6 months and felt safer than DC. And I understand that. Yeah, 6 months. 6 months, yeah. I've been in Ghana for 5 years. So I hear you, though. Again, wherever you go, there you are. So even the idea of safety, oh yes, are there vast differences? Like I said, gun violence is not prevalent here like it is in the States, right? There's some, as a woman, you might feel safer. We know the pros. I talk about them every day. But I know that people are seriously thinking about moving abroad. And some people will have sometimes pie in the sky notions, beliefs. And I think it's better to let people know that you still are you traveling. So whatever those things that trigger your sadness, your feelings of alone, your feelings of isolation, all travel does to me is it makes it more glaring, if anything. It's not going to solve all your problems. It's not going to turn you into this so different that you won't recognize yourself. Yes, you grow, you mature, but I think where you are, you can grow and mature too. It's just that you want a different way of life. But the parts of yourself that feel and experience emotions in the way that you experience emotions, and you can change if you don't like the way you do that, or if there's some things that you haven't worked through. Traveling is not going to do it. I'll give you an example. There's a friend that I know from the makes me quite sad. So there's a friend that I know from the Bay when I lived in California. It was funny. I had met my the ex-husband and him at the same time, and I actually met him maybe even a week before. But it was my ex who I don't know. It's the one kind of like I chose. But it's a very wonderful guy, wonderful things, and I've been knowing him for some of the years, a few years. Okay, no, a long time. I mean, know him like we would see each other. He was a capoeirista, which means he was a capoeira master. He was a physical education teacher, and also, but basically, he taught fitness in the gym that I went to too. Well, today he puts a video up, and he talks about how he tried to take his life. And he talked about how he did it and everything, but it didn't work. And I know that he had traveled. He wasn't in California anymore. He had moved to a couple of different states. And I'm sure he was trying to, maybe I'm feeling this sad because I'm in the same place. And maybe if I go somewhere else, I won't be as sad. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. So yeah, let's get Heather out. Yeah, you'll get it. Most people are not here. If you see these names or if they say hi, there's certain keywords that, like this next person you see is another language, so you definitely take them out. But most of them, you're giving them a chance, and I love it. Give them a chance. But most of them, you'll know after a while. They'll even give them the second to do it. They'll come in and ask a question, but they're not really true. Okay, well, the question for Eddie Longo is, am I Ghanaian? No. You love your time in Africa. Oh, my God, I'm so glad. Africa is the bomb. Yeah, answer's nice. All right, yeah, the names. Anyway, okay. Thank you. So that is so to let you know, like, that really got me. Like, I know that search a lot of us have. So I talk to my friends that are abroad, that's been here for a while, and they go through those same, they want to get up and go to the next country. They want to get up and go to the next country. They want to go back where they were. They want to come back after they went back there. Wherever you go, there you are. Your troubles don't disappear. And for me, I've always had that thing too where, it's funny, I have longevity or structure because I lived in an apartment when my daughter was born for 16 years and cried when I had to leave. So there's that part of me, but there's also been that part that I used to go to Trinidad several times when my daughter was younger because she stayed with her father. There's this part of me that I gotta go. I gotta go. Okay, apartment, I gotta go. I gotta move to a new one. I gotta go. I gotta go. And that is the part that you will always be feeding. And sometimes it looks like, oh, it's the greatest. The rest, everybody else is sleeping. Everybody else is not really living life. At least I'm living life fully. At least I'm getting out there. But a lot of times you're just running away. You're running away from the deeper work. So the traveling or being in another country itself is still like anything else, like shopping or whatever, eating, spending money, right? It's still a temporary feeling. It's still a temporary feeling. That if you don't do the deeper inner work, all the countries in the world will never take it away. You'll never feel that feeling you'll always feel that void inside of you. I think the happiest people, thank you for the thumbs up too. I think the happiest people are the people that are happy no matter where they are, that did the work. So this doesn't absolve you from your past troubles. It just doesn't. It sometimes can make it more real. So one of my fears now being here is, like I said, when I first came, I had the Ghanaian family that I knew in the end I could fall back on. And then when I got with the brother that I was with, they were like kind of like, well, this is your guardian now. And now that we're not together, when you saw me riding on the motor yesterday, going to the store with myself, right, going to get my water, doing my stuff, it really is a celebration of my liberation. It's scary, to be honest, but it's necessary. He's moving on too, so it's part of it. So don't get used to any way of life. Don't get used to people being around. It's life. There's no guarantees. There's no guarantees. It'll never be a guarantee. It'll never be that. And so you got to come wherever you decide to go. You got to come with that. It doesn't change too much. It can change your perspective, which is nice. It can change the way you saw the world or see. It can change even belief systems. I mean, it's quite powerful to live abroad. But I'm more talking about that it's going to automatically make the sadness inside of you that you experience go away. It won't do that. But if you're willing, it can give you a place to be able to continue the work that you do. So don't get caught up in that it's going to just be this, it's going to make you something other than who you are. Especially it's going to make you feel something. So so as I'm releasing Manasi and he's releasing me, I pushed myself to come up here because my fears, oh God, what if this happens and this happens. And so now let's talk about fears as you get older. A lot of people will ask about a certain country, well, what is their medical care like? Because as we get older, your needs change. And it's something I was watching this sister and she just turned 40. She's not a sister actually though. She just turned 40 and she was like, oh, I'm free spirit and I don't care about owning anything and I don't care about doing this and that. I'm going to work to from the rest of my life and I don't have to worry about retirement or this and that. Because she doesn't have that. It's free spirit. I'm free spirit too. And everybody said, oh, you're 40. You just turned 40. You're just 39. Wait till you get 50. Do you know that when I was in my 40s, I had two women, Sister Nasira, I'm just give you props, and Sister Jumar. And both of them were way older than me, still, of course, way older than me. And they told me that when I get in my 50s, I'm not going to always, she said, you're not going to always be a raw foodist because your body is going to require different things. And you're not going to always, it was other things. You're not going to always feel as great as you feel. Me and my girl was talking about this. I never thought I would ever have health problems. According to all the gurus, menopause, that's for the sissies. Vegan women don't get menopause. Vegan women that eat well, don't go through that. I don't think that's true. Don't worry, as long as you eat, you don't need insurance, you have assurance. You're assured that you'll never get sick because you're on a plant-based diet. But it's not true. Don't know how to tell them that. It's not true. And so the reality is, I want you to know, all my healthy ladies, that you're so healthy, it helps to be healthy. It's very hot in this kitchen, so you see me moving. But I like to move around. That's me. That's my personality. But if you are going to have to be concerned about how you're going to take care of your health. So that's going to depend. Somebody asked me, what are the best places for a diasporan to live in, to move to? That would be, they don't like 40s hit differently. That's right. So, thank you, sis. You got them all. So it's going to be different. And you're not even, that's a whole nother thing. So this thing about now you're traveling as an older woman, you're moving abroad as an older woman, there are things that you're going to have to think about. So where you live, people say, where's the best place for diasporans to live? It really depends on, don't choose a place just based on where you are, the age you are now, the financial situation you are now. Choose a place that can grow with you as you get older. This part is very, very important. Because me and my friend was saying we got here 5 years ago to 5 years later, oh my God, our bodies have went through so much. And so a lot of times we get older, me and her talk about our fear is that we're going to get sick and nobody's going to be around. We're going to get sick and no one's be around. If we die, who knows about it? Like, because we're loners, right? So we talk about the loner. So if you are older, I mean, don't build a big house with stairs. You might not be able to get up to the rooms anymore. I know you don't want to think about this, but this stuff happens. Maybe you don't need all those rooms. A lot of times we build thinking that our family's going to come stay with us. They're probably not going to come, especially to Africa for whatever reason, which a lot of reasons, right? When you live abroad, especially as an older woman, you best to think about yourself. I will say you best think about yourself. So I know now when I build, I don't need 5 rooms. I don't even need 2 bedrooms, right? I need that. I know that everything's one level. There's not going to be no upstairs. I would have never thought that 5 years ago. What's important to you is to decide. Some people, I want my sister, and if this is for you, you said, people say Takoradi, Kumasi, and Accra are expensive. So where else would I suggest? She says people have suggested the Cape Coast. Those places are expensive, but they're also very busy and lots of pollution and very move quickly. And just because they're the cities, the infrastructure's not there. If you decide to live in those places and you want some regular everyday amenities, the basics, you have to pay for that. And sometimes those will be paid in dollars, and the prices will be just as expensive as some places in the state. So you got to look at all of those things. The other places, like people say, the Cape Coast, I think Aburi, but Aburi's going to kind of get expensive because a lot of Black Americans is going up there, but it's beautiful. It's in the mountains, but it's still Accra. But it's outside a little bit, but it's still close. And let's say Prom, which is very established as being an African American community, those places are great because not only do you have, 2 of them is the water, which is nice and cooler, but it still gets hot. It's Ghana, so it's hot. But you have a community. So if you're a person that thrives alone, those places might be a little different for you. To me, the Cape Coast is a wonderful place if you're an older woman or an older brother. This is what I feel. This is just the vibe. And you want to do things because they always have gatherings. They got a sister that teaches drumming. The food is amazing. You want all the organic fruits and vegetables. People there really care about that. And so there are vendors every Friday. You go to this market. You go always, like I said, you'll never really be alone. You got coffee houses that's owned by us. So there's a very sense of family. There's events, but it's the group that's doing it. It's the people. I don't know how young people would do this. It's quite slower, but that's wonderful. It's a great place for pensioners or retirees. You want to sit by the ocean. You want to do events. You want to have game nights. I wouldn't take nothing away from that. And it's a welcoming community at that. But the people tend to be a bit older that runs those things. They always have Empower Her groups, and they bring in people from, like Brother Iris Latam, the father of raw food. He's in the town. They bring in Queen Afua. Like, it's really a wonderful place if you are, especially if you want to be more social. I don't know Aburi. Aburi, I think the people tend to be maybe a little younger, but they still older too, but a little younger. It's beautiful. There's the mountains. It's cooler too when it's cooler because it's the mountains. But I don't know enough about it. I know I was there and I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I thought then I would still want to come to Accra. And it's a little distance from the greater Accra, but it's okay. Prom is established in older women for sure, but they're really part of a community too. So if you need community, go where the community, your African American community, they got the Caribbean Association too. Go where your community is. If you need that, that's a no-brainer. Go to that. Accra, most of us that's older will come into Accra and we get excited and we absolutely love it, so much to do. In about a year or 2, we get tired. 3, we probably gonna be real tired. and then we're going to be looking for a little slower way. I think those places are great. If it's about money, then you don't want to. Kumasi, Takoradi, and Accra, it's relatively expensive, and you think it's still not the same. But the way you will spend money there is going to be different, and you want to be broken. Okay, another thing is, what is your priority? And sometimes you don't know that till you get here, but if you can know that beforehand, it helps. Me and another sister, she's a sister that is in the Cape Coast, you get invited to a lot of different things, and everything you get invited to costs money. Even Cape Coast is 3 hours from Accra, so even driving back into Accra, it's money. We're gonna go see this show. We're gonna go support this person. And she said, she says, but she's building a house. She said, I can't go to every event. I gotta stay focused because I'm building a house. And that's the same thing for me. We're not going back and forth to Accra all the time. We gotta, at some point, whatever your goal is, you have to sit so you can make that happen. Thank you for the thumbs up. You have to sit and say, what is my goal? Is my goal to build? Okay, well, I can't do all the events. I can't hang out a buck wild, especially if you're you're getting your Social Security or something. Sometimes it's good, but it's like gonna keep you, you can't do every damn thing. Because when you first come up here, you're going to think, oh my God, my money goes so far. So you're going to think, and you're going to spend recklessly and realize, oh my God, I got to calm down. You're going to feel like a kid in a candy store. You're going to feel like a child again. You're going to be like, oh my God, right? And then so what is your mission? Ask yourself that before coming. What do I want to do? What is my goal? And if it's to build, you're going to have to be frugal. You're going to have the party's over. In that way, but the party that could begin is, and my sister is building a house and, of course, a garden. I think those are the most important things. I think that when we leave, if we're leaving because we're seeing the writing on the wall to where we are in our so-called developed countries, then you're going to have a different mission. If you're leaving because it's getting tight where you are, your mission, stay focused now. Don't go through the pitfalls that we all go through. Don't go through the saying yes to every event and every party and every this and every that. If you're going because you want to own your own, you want the land to be yours, you want to grow your own food, there are people that are doing that. Go where those people are, because at least it'll keep you all on the same page. If you got health challenges, now of course you got to go someplace where the food is healthy, where you have an abundance of it, or you can grow your own. But if you have insurance, that's great if you can use it here. But here, everything is, if you go, let's say in the States, I believe it's still that way. If you got emergency, you go to some hospital, somebody's going to take you and bill you later. Or there's even programs that have somebody come in and put you on the Medicaid or Medi-Cal or whatever. There's no such thing as that here. If you don't have the money, you could be bleeding with a gunshot wound. They're going to let you die, because you got to pay. So keep that in mind. Make sure your money is up to, so you can, and then another thing, you don't want any old raggedy care now. You don't want no raggedy care. You want the best, and the best will cost you. So you want to make sure that you don't need to be trying, you can't really, flying back and forth to the States, I know people get tired of doing that. That is taxing. That's a long ride. It's very taxing. So if you need to get yourself, even if it's just mentally in health or mentally okay about your health, think about that. And then think about, again, don't think about today. Think about as you're aging as well. That's the most important part. Do I feel like I can age well in Ghana? Absolutely. Do I feel like I can age better in Ghana than in the United States? Absolutely. I don't really think the healthcare system in the States is that great, unless you got some very good insurance. And even then, we have to deal with the racism of even in the medical field. Medical racism. You don't have to deal with that here. I promise that. If you got the money, they're going to give you the best care. And it's not because you're color, they're going to turn you away. They have to turn the whole country away, right? There's those things. There's the trade-offs. I know a lot of people start missing the States. I could imagine, I asked this question. But people that came here meaning the continent, whether it's Tanzania, whether it's Gambia, many other places. And they had to go back. Maybe they didn't plan correctly. Maybe their situation changed, but they lost their benefits they were getting from the States. Whatever that could be, right? And they had to go back. Some of the same ones that said, I had to leave Africa and go back, that transition of living back in wherever your country you lived in, coming from abroad, it is hard as hell. You really are not that person. You're going to miss the slower way of life. You're going to miss that you don't have to hustle as hard. If you're a hustler now, keep in mind that if you come here to create a business or a company, then you should know that you got a certain amount of years until your body can't do that hustle and grind no more. So create businesses that can sustain itself even as you age. Those are the ones. If it's about you need your physical body in order for this business to continue, that we're going to all get older. So if you're young, you got time to make sure that money is going to make money for you. If you're older, you got to think a lot differently about what you're going to do. If you're a person that don't have benefits, that don't have a check coming in every month or 2 or 3, you really are going to have to really be clear about what you're going to do. The reason why I want to get into the hospitality is because I love fixing up places. You'll know that. I look around like this is what I love to do. Also, I know that, I remember I've always had landlords, meaning from my child we lived in apartments. And my landlord, I know so many of them that basically died being a landlord, who lived to 80 and 90, and they were still collecting that rent. It wasn't contingent on their physicality to be able to collect money. So think about as you age in a foreign country, because the health care is not the same, and when you do find it really good, you're going to pay. But I'm going to say that even the ones that's really good, like the Luca Health that I go to when I'm in Accra, is still cheaper than anything you would pay. But the difference is you're paying out of your pocket. Now, they do have some insurances I think you could get that goes for. I'm not good on the insurance part, so you check out to see if your insurance is good here, because it could be, especially in a hospital like that or a place. But learn your personality. Learn who you truly are. Are you social? Are you more, I don't say anti-social, I think it's a bit extreme word, but some people are. It's not like you're against social, but maybe that's not where your comfort is. So I'm going through releasing, I don't have a net like, okay, I could call Kwaku, I could call da-da-da-da. Their lives go on too. The name that might be in your life, unless they're rich, they're not going to be able to be always sustain your life. That's why people have a driver today. Maybe a driver lasts for a year. They ain't going to be forever. You might have an employee that works for you, and they're good and you love them. They probably won't be around forever, because their lives are constantly changing. And so they're always got to look for work. And sometimes you can't pay them enough to sustain them and their family. So there's that thing that you don't want to depend. You always want to be ready to move in a new direction, as I say, to pivot. It will keep you that way. But yeah, as you grow, you do. Right. So there are many African countries that are safer than living in so many places in the United States. You don't have to live in the big cities of Africa. You have to go to, exactly. But let me ask you this. I agree. I'm in a village, so I know what you're saying, all gray. So that's why I'm telling people to know who they are. Some people they need that socialization, right? So living in a village may not be an option for them, especially if they came to build a business. They might need to be in Accra. If they got health issues, being in a village, usually the more remote they are, the less the healthcare is going to be good. Period. I lived here for 5 years. I'm gonna tell you that one. Village healthcare as opposed to city healthcare is two entirely different things. So some people actually have to live in the city if that's something that they're concerned about. I'm living it. I know it. When I want real healthcare, I got to leave here and go over to Accra. So many other people do too. The hospital itself will say, we can't do anything else for you. There's so many people. We have to send you. You have to go to Accra. They'll send you to Accra. And that's if you got a village that has a hospital. You might be the one to bring the hospital to them. People leave those villages. Another thing, we're talking about the brain drain. People leave the villages because there's no work. So even the nurses, they go down to Accra, and they really would love to go abroad. So the glamorization of just living in the village, I prefer living in the countryside. That's where I am now. But there's some things that as we get older, or things that it would depend on what business, we're going to have to partake. The young people, we would love for them to stay in the community, but they go to Accra because they have to eat, they have to feed their children, they have to do all this other stuff. So you have to definitely look at it from a real perspective. Do you know that most Ghanaians, okay, so when they hit Accra, they're from their Ewe, their Hausa, their God, their Akan, all these places where they have a home, their mother and father has land, the whole bit. But they have to leave it because there's no work in these villages. So if you got it and you don't mind being so far away from great medical care or even things to do, I'm with you. I personally would want to be. Most of them say they wouldn't even leave their villages if they had work. Like most people, foreigners wouldn't even leave their country to live in these developing countries if there was work. So now that's why I said this is a real talk. This is not the fantasy talk, right? This is let's tell the people what they are. Sometimes I know something that I saw in another program I thought was really good too. You'll watch a YouTube and you'll see some African American that or somebody from the UK that developed these beautiful buildings, right? This complex or compound is just dope. It might not be enough infrastructure for you to get in and out to that place. So infrastructure is going to be a battle. You still can live in East Legon, but you still gotta go across somewhere and walk over the sewers and the too much cars so you gotta know. If you know that you want to live in the village, then make sure your health is good, or you don't mind that it's good. It takes me 6 hours to get to Accra. If I got an emergency, ain't no helicopter flying me out. But this is real stuff. This is me living here for 5 years straight. So you really, really, if you are enjoying this, please thumbs it up so I know that it's getting to you. Nobody's trying to stop you. There's two kinds of people that usually watch these videos. The ones that get mad if you say, let me tell my people what's real, or the ones that get mad if you make it seem too glamorous. So what I'm wanting to do is just saying, first you assess who you are and what your needs are. And then you can pick the better place for yourself. And again, this is also responding to somebody, Ann, I'll just say her first name, she asked me these questions. And I thought, why not answer it for all the people that might, you know what I'm saying, that might need that, That is what is sort out your medical situation before you decide to move, live in another country from where I am now. Yes, that's what people got to do. That's what I'm telling them. Do you think they automatically know that? Do you think that? Because they don't automatically know that. So we're just here to help those people. Are you Ghanaian? So this is real stuff, y'all. The people that know. Not that I'm saying you don't. They don't know. Why? How would they know? Wouldn't they want to talk to somebody from their country that's telling them? I'm being very respectful, very loving, but also very real. It's not that we can't get over. We just have to understand what that is. Some people come and think, it was when I first came here 5 years ago, and I would watch the videos that people telling people to come to Ghana. They would be like, oh, don't worry about medical care. The fruits and vegetables here are all organic and they'll keep you fresh and they'll keep you healthy. Well, the fruits and vegetables are not all organic. GMO is a problem here too. If you want to ask me, I feel like, and somebody said, well, why are people buying land when they get all scammed? Well, everybody's not getting scammed. And the reason why people buy land is because they want to be in charge of their own food. If something goes down, you're able to say, I got a house that's absolutely paid for. I got land that I absolutely own. I'm growing my own food. Living off grid is easy. It's solar. You can get the solar if you can afford it, right? And these are the things you want to think about as well. How do you want to live in case of this emergency? Are you even preparing yourself in that way? So there's that other part as well. So thank you for the thumbs up too. But yeah, it's nothing bad. It's nothing, don't make people feel like they're so dumb. Don't they know this? And don't make people feel like, oh, this is just so easy. It's not that easy. It's a transition. People are picking up their entire lives in a place that they've probably never been. I'm not even talking about the culture shock and all the other things that's going to be unique and different. But because you'll learn those things. We're good at learning. You'll learn it. You make mistakes in the beginning. You might say something inappropriate. You might use the wrong hand. But you'll learn, right? Lisa, excuse me for a moment. There's been a couple of strange questions in the chat. Someone just asked, how long have you been? Oh, that's the trolls, honey. That's the trolls. So that's why we have our Book Mystica trolls. She's getting them all out. She's knocking it out the box, honey. She's doing her job. So don't pay them no mind. They just represent the entities that don't want us to give the information out. And that's what we're doing today. So if there's inner work that you have to do, I think how I started was running somewhere else doesn't absolve you of that inner work. Those same things will come up for you. If you know yourself, you can move into any country in the world if you know yourself and really succeed. And all I want for you to do is succeed. Because I talk on a spiritual level, I'm saying get your spiritual thing together as much as possible. Don't be scared. Somebody asked me, would I ever see myself living in the States again? No. So I'm not telling you to stay where you are. I wouldn't do that. I'm telling you to come and be prepared. So yes, definitely visit all the places that you can, but at some point you're not going to be able to visit all of the places. You got to visit the places that you can. So when I was saying to y'all that some people first come to Accra, because we all going to come to Accra, that's where the airport is, right? And they get caught up, and then a few years later, they all wind up moving to places that's outside of it. This is why. So that's why when my guest house is ready, I offer that for people that say, first, I just want to get my mind, because you do got to come down from the States to here, to me. You got to come down from that. You need that rest. Your nervous system is balancing itself. And so you have to allow it to do that. So come to the Volta and sit and say, I could do this. Now, there's many opportunities here in places like the villages, but you have to, this is where you can connect. So let me say another thing that I'm definitely going to see that this is going to be a future thing, the partnering up. Because the villages, to me, now they got superstitions. Some of them don't take kindly to strangers because they don't trust them or they don't know why they're there. So there's those things too, but overall, they're one of the best places to be. If you don't need the party or all the amenities or the things. But you can create that. The NGOs come, mostly white folks, they come, but now more black folks are doing it. They create these NGOs and they build the well. They bring the water to the community. They can bring the electricity to the community. They can do all of that where now you can live. And because there might not be places for people to buy stuff, you can create that. There's so many opportunities. If you are willing to get out of the city and have a more entrepreneurial spirit, I'm talking to y'all, those ones, this is the greatest place to be able to do that. This meaning, for me, Ghana, but maybe the continent, maybe some other parts of the world. If you have an entrepreneurial spirit, you got it. You got it. And this is where I feel like the more remote places might actually be for you. Some of us coming for peace. Some are coming to have more camaraderie with their peers. Some are, but I think all of us are coming for peace, no matter what that looks like for you. So you have to decide what that looks like for you. So sit down and assess. I started with the spiritual. I even started with the emotional, right? Because the emotional is not going to be, my life is so horrible in this country I'm living in. I'm going to go to this other country and my life is going to be so much better. That's the trap that I don't want you to get into. I personally must live in a more quiet, peaceful area, yes, but I don't want to be far from great culture like museums, great restaurants, concerts, etc. I live in Alexandria, Virginia, which is quiet. Yeah, that's that. So you would want to be closer to Accra if you wanted all those things. But you maybe the Cape Coast is a great place for that because but you still got to come in 3 hours. Maybe with a car, if you got a private driver, then there's maybe you can put that down to 2.5, which is not really a long ride once you're used to driving far. Some people do a brewery too, because a brewery is even closer. So, but yeah, if you know that I want to be outside of the city, but I want to be close enough to indulge in it, then there you go. Everybody wants something different, and that's good. Joanne has identified what is important to her. So you got to identify what's important to you. Let me say this, though. It can change. Because remember, you're always growing. You're always maturing. So if you could allow for the change, that's why I say, if you want to buy land, maybe don't buy it so quickly. See what, you might be a person that does better with renting. You know what I'm saying? But you don't know. Living in another country, the things that you thought you needed in the States, you may not even need those things anymore. One thing about what I do love about being in another country, so let's talk about that, is experiencing a new part of yourself that could never come out because you're so much used to where you are. So there's only a part of yourself that is kind of showing up. When you live in another country, you'd be shocked at what you never thought. I remember, I'm telling you, I promise you, when I was in Accra, I used to go to this place because a lot of people do that. You work in Accra, and then you go somewhere to take a break. And mine would be the Cape Coast, and I used to go to a place called the Beach House. Oh my God, I loved the Beach House for about 3 days. After that, I was like, I need the pollution, I need all the noise. I can't ever live in this place. But every maybe twice a year, I would go to this place to kind of, rejuvenate myself, take a break. So if somebody would have told me that I would want to be up here more than I would want to be in Accra, because this is even further away. Cape Coast was like 3 hours, this is 6. I would laugh. I would say no. I would say, but you're aging, you're growing, you're maturing, you're changing. That's why I said, spiritually speaking, the same conversation that I would have with you about changing, I would be having the same conversation that I was in the States. We change. We grow. This thing is more appealing now than it would have been. Just think about it. Every person that is more settled now as an older person, they was a wild teenager at one point too. But life has a way of growing you up and your needs may change. So be open to that. That's why I don't make too much commitments when you first get into the country. Try some different things. Because you may find a country is totally not for you, or you might find a city is totally not for you. You might want to go into the city, like you say, every once in a while. Every once in a while could be less than what you think. Maybe you want to get an apartment in the city. I did that. So when you get that city itch, you go. But your primary home could still be in the country. One thing you could do is definitely make the countryside more, You might find as you get older that you want to create things for the country. Like here, I would love to do a spoken. There's a lot of talented girls and boys I know that can write and music and it's a spoken word venue at this brother's place over there. There's so many things that you might find yourself wanting to do. A lot of the diasporans come and they didn't know they were going to start these things for the kids or volunteer for the so and so or create activities. They had no idea. That's why I said allow the country. Okay. Yes. Well, you know what? I agree with you. Miss Aubrey, thank you for saying that. She says, thank you for the advice and advice. I'm in my early 60s and more stressful in the place. I would love to return. You have to. So that's why I want to bring it up. I've been here for 5 years. I would never, and I know you probably missed that from the beginning. I don't ever want to come back to the States. I would be stressed. I tell people I would be depressed probably. It wouldn't be a good thing for me because people ask me all the time. So I'm with you. I think everybody should go. If that wants to come here, I think you should absolutely do it. But you could do it in the best way. And so this is just like having a softer landing. Because I'm talking to the people that mind is already made up that they're coming, and for those that want to be in Ghana, I am talking to y'all. I'm just giving you the little softer landing because I want you to be successful when you get here. I want you to stay. And a lot of people go back so quickly because these are the things that they didn't ask themselves. And like I said, and they'll go back and say, oh, I had to leave Ghana, and they'll badmouth Ghana, right? They'll badmouth Ghana. But when they go back, they don't tell people how depressing it is, how sad they were. And they don't tell that part. So you get out, stay out. When I ask people, because I haven't been back in 5 years, and I ask people, oh, how is it there? They be like, girl, stay gone. You don't want to deal with all this. My life is so much better in that way. I definitely don't make as much money, but when you get here, okay, get ready for that. If you're a person that's been making that money, here you're gonna want the relaxation aspect. It's going to penetrate your whole mind, body. Like your nervous system gonna be like, yeah, oh my God. Grind, work hard. You ain't gonna do none of that. You're gonna be free. That's why the freedom is unmatched. So you'll want to do different things. You'll want to be involved in different things. You might have an idea for a great business. It's going to be more fulfilling and worthwhile. Again, I thought I was going to be a city girl. I want no part of it. No part of it. I'm good. And the itch I get, I come in and I'll stay in one of my little favorite little guest houses. Or, like I said, I have an apartment now, but it might be better to pull my resources. A car eats your money real fast. And once I now know, like my plan is to open some guest houses in the area that I'm in, and I'm in the Voltaries, I'm in Hawaii. Once I realize that that's what I'm doing, I feel so much more ready. It's like, I'm not wasting any more money. I'm not checking to see if this is the place. I've been to a few of the places, so I know which one is for me. I know who I am. So Miss Audrey, Miss Audrey, you're going to do very, very well. I welcome you. Aquaba, as they say. I welcome you. Wisdom, as they say. I welcome you. It's a good place. But just so that people can come and really feel and stay, I want people to stay. I know, because I know no matter how much they talk bad about Ghana, when they went back to that, they left the United States, and that's how I see a lot. They left the States for a reason. And to go back, it has to be more difficult because sometimes you don't appreciate a place until what they say, you don't miss your water till your well runs dry. You can get rid of this person, Elton blogs. They come into play. You don't miss your water till your well runs dry. You don't. So I want y'all to make it. For me, I'm good with a crowd. And I love the things they have to offer when they do, but I find I don't need most of those things. So again, try to downsize now. Another thing, just on some other real practical stuff, if you have a storage and know it's hard, don't keep a storage. Let the stuff go. You need way less from there than you think. Some people be bringing, they hope bring them containers and containers. Sometimes you don't get it. It's so much more expensive. It's a scam. They might steal your stuff before you get it. I'm not saying everybody, but I wouldn't come with it. I would come with as little as I possibly can. Because listen, everything you want, you can have made, and you can have it made affordably. When you retire, move to another country, your retirement fund can go further when you move to another country and stay locally. Glad that you're doing well. Yes, absolutely. That's why I said that dollar to CD is a beautiful thing. Even like I said, even if you go to the best, get the best medical care here, it's still not expensive like the States. It's nowhere near it. So, you know, and then my biggest suggestion is if you're gonna come now as much as you can. I don't know if it will. I don't know if Ghana is going to soon be, because so many people are interested in it, if it's going to soon be a place where you might have a hard time getting in. You know what I'm saying? Or things might go up a little more than you expected. Like, one thing about is a thing is the building, right? A lot of people want to build, even the Ghanaians. But the building material keeps going up, inflation. So if you want to build, come now because you don't want to wait too long. Come now so you can get acclimated, so you can figure out where you want to, if that is for you. So you got to come now if you're going to come. And then, this is a deeper one, but Miss Augrey, you will understand this too. Um, it seems like Babylon is falling. It does seem like that. I mean, whatever that, y'all read between the lines because you can't say everything out here. Seems like it's kind of falling. You know, I think the 2020 thing that happened, it didn't look like the first world powerful nation. The other little countries was handling that way better. This thing that's happening in LA, can you believe that's a developed country? They can't get that together. They can't get that under control. Kind of frightening. So your mind has to get out the thing that but I think the people that's coming here they know that you don't live in the greatest nation in the world. That's really relative. Be open that there's somewhere else that's greater for you. That part. I've been told by others who are on social security benefits or fixed incomes that their money goes further in a lot of different countries than does the U.S. Absolutely. It is. Your answer says it is. So, I mean, it keeps, their slip is hanging, the red, white, and blue. I mean, this part is very clear. Like, you can't handle that? The greatest nation? Supposed to have endless supplies of infrastructure? And you can't get that under control? You can handle this thing, this ease that was going around. You can handle that, and the rest of the countries was handling it. So that, if you believe you're in the greatest place, that's great. If it really is, but be open that you could make it somewhere else. Not make it, thrive. You can thrive. Yes. The DR, Panama, right? Portugal, apparently. Mexico. They might be full though. Some countries getting full. And so know that too. Some countries are getting full, and so they're making like your monthly or yearly requirements of what you have to have in the bank a lot higher. That's why I say, if you're going to take the leap, thank you for the thumbs up too. I see it changing. So, if you're going to take the leap, why not now? If you can do it, don't wait till you can't. Don't wait till you can't. Ghana in 5 years has grown so much. I see it in the price of rent in Accra. I see it in the price of food. It has grown. Also, I see it in my eyes. Like when I go to Accra, I can't believe how many bigger buildings and development that I see. It's incredible, to be honest. It's like every year it's way more developed. It really is. So if you are into a person that likes to be in when the time is good, get it before you're priced out. If you're that person, because that you can be that person. You don't even have to live here to invest in it if you want to do on that level as well. But you should definitely come before you do any investing. Oh, that's a great question, Allie Marie, and I'd be happy to ask. Allie Marie's question is, what are your thoughts on moving or traveling with child? I have my 10-year-old. Oh, this is the best thing you can do for your child. It's the best thing you can do for your child. Because this is the thing. They brainwash our kids so early that they make them think there's no world that's better than the one they came from. They can learn different languages. They'll pick it up way faster. You can have a child that be speaking 3 or 4 languages. They'll be a different human being. They'll see the world from a global perspective, and no world just as their little world or their little block or their little state. They'll be way more mature. They'll be way more mature. They'll be way more open. They'll be way more industrious. They'll have more ingenuity. They'll make it happen. You'll probably have your child will be an entrepreneur. They'll have the biggest business. You're gonna be looking. They're gonna really take care of you. They're gonna learn about how to respect their elders and take care. I think it would be the most phenomenal gift that you can give is to take your child and live there. I wish, had my daughter been younger, oh my God, how great this would be. And if they choose to go back to the States, that's their thing, but they're going to go back not the same person. I think it's excellent. I think 10 is the perfect age. At first, they're but they'll love it. They'll feel the calmness too. They'll feel it too. And it's exciting, these new people, other youth that's younger, that got this different language, different culture. Oh, they'll love it. I say yes. Dion says, hey, Lisa, hey. Chris Brown says someone is starting the fires because a lot of people are saying that. But we can't say that here because they won't make me see your comments anymore. But a lot of people are saying that. So that's what I say. Let's just call it what it is and say, if you want to leave, you don't have to be so loyal to some place that's probably not that loyal to you. Absolutely, Dion. Speaking of Cali, perhaps Mother Nature cannot be controlled like we think it can. Well, let's say, and I'm open to that as well. I'm open to that as well, but because I agree with you that it never could. That conquer the mountain. Remember, they want to conquer the mountain. Like, it's just climb it if you want to do that, right? We're gonna go into the sea and wrestle the whale. Like, why are you doing that shit? Like, right? We're gonna go into safari and pet the lion, and when it bites you, somebody's mad. I mean, they're off the rock already. I mean, let's talk about that. Let me say, but it's hard to say. Is Mother Nature saying, listen, in 2020, everything closed down, including planes. They said that the ozone layer hole was getting smaller, where the ice caps was back on the mountains, right? That the water was less polluted. So she was trying to, Mother Nature, she was trying to say, we need to stop with the overconsumption of everything. I know it's hard for people when they lose everything. They think, I lost everything, but you got your life, so you did not lose everything. No matter how dear that thing is, you know what they said? They said that, you know how you get like a family heirloom, which is beautiful, right? And you pass it down and you pass it down. Eventually, that heirloom will not be passed down to a relative. It will find itself in a pawn shop or in some, you know what I'm saying, curated place. Or they say that even wealth, most people don't get past, I think, the 5th generation, and that's even white folks. So at some point, these things that you feel like mean so much to you, the most important thing is you have your life. So we could say Mother Nature is too more powerful for them. We could say that. But she's always been. But they still manage to, try to tame it, right? We could say that it's the earth saying, let's look at our lives and see what's really important. Because yes, I would be absolutely devastated. See, I left everything that I had. I left everything. My birth certificate, my Social Security, my rewards, my diploma. I don't know where my college diploma is. I don't know where it is. My Social Security, my birth certificate. I mean, everything. Pictures of past, travel stuff, intimate little things, every single thing. And how I was, I think, able to do it was I realized I can start and do something else. There's more waiting for me. There's more waiting. But I understand in the thing, no, it's horrible to lose the place that you lay your head. It's a horrible feeling, but it's one that is happening. And so we're going to have to find a deeper spiritual meaning to all of it. There's so many theories, some call conspiracy, right? There's so many theories. It could be a little bit of all of it. It could be when you say that they can't control. This is what I'm saying. It's not that would be human. But since you boast so much, let me explain to y'all. They got people from other countries thinking that they walk on air. It really is. You go to the U.S. and it's what they say, paved with gold. That it's truly the land of milk and honey, because that's what they promoted. They believe that they're going to have a better chance of living there than here. They believe that their resources, this is what they brag about. They're a first world nation, they call themselves. So their resources are there. So when the reality that you don't have enough water for whatever reason, whether it's a breakdown in communication, whether it's a budget cut, people as foreign don't know that people are struggling there just like here. So this is the part that I'm saying that you're so great, but you can't handle this one. You were so great, but you couldn't handle the 2020 thing, but the other countries did a lot better. Maybe if you start making profit more important than people, maybe things would change. So we have to look at it constructively, just to break down that notion. I know this is very hard for Americans because we all were in school and we pledged allegiance to the flag and we believed that we were the greatest nation ever. And those people will not move to another country. And those people will not, because they feel like it's unpatriotic. And for those people, that's why they're not probably watching me right now. So I'm just trying to say, if you scare because you think this is I'm gonna have less this and I'm gonna have less that, it's gonna be more of a scare. People are dying in the hospitals over there too. I know so many people with health care that's terrible. Sometimes I can't believe that these are specialists they tell me they're going to. So we should just unveil and tell the truth. It's not guaranteed it's better. That was more my point. So, yes, having one life is a blessing, and I get that. But like I said, I'm not downplaying that you walk in, you had a place to sleep, and you don't. That's horrible, horrifying. I mean, I gut-wrenching. But it's just that when people say I lost everything, I always want to say, but wait, you didn't lose your life, though. And God, you really blessed if you had your children and you got them out too. Oh, my God. Right? After you get over it, or after you deal with the fact that you lost these material things, fine. That's real. That's still an attachment. I'm not taking nothing away. Believe me, I'm not that person. So you don't have to come. Nobody got to come for me, because people will come for you. Like, you're being insensitive. Then don't say I lost everything. Say, thank God I got my life. Thank God I walked out, because I'm sure there are going to be people. I don't know. Y'all could tell me. It's got to be a toll. Some casualties. People that actually lost their lives. Pets that lost their lives. I mean, I'm sure. They really lost. If you walked out with your life, some of these things might have been things that was holding you back and you don't even know it. So, but it's not that you shouldn't feel that you lost everything. Just remember you got your life. And that's a blessing. That's a blessing in every way. So let's see. Yes, it says, yes. Yeah. I believe you though, Joanne. Miss Ang Gray says, I was also watching a couple in the Philippines are saying the same thing. If you want moved and there has a pensioner, they will look at your fixed income to sustain you. Some countries are doing it because so many people are trying to leave and they're getting full. And it affects the locals too, because then everything tends to go up where they are. So there's that problem too. Now, are we the new gentrifiers, or I won't say colonizers, that's a bit different. Donna, hey, I retired to Jamaica coming up to 4 years. I eat high raw, I'm very fit, and my money goes much, much further. Also, we grow a lot of fruits and veg in our garden. Bills really low. Yes, ma'am. Come on, y'all, give your testimonies. So when y'all ask me, do I ever miss it? I'm looking at y'all from here going, no. Cold weather, make sure if that's a big thing you don't like, get away from that as well. So I'm saying yes. I'm just saying now you want to make a smooth landing. These are some of the things you have the opportunity while you're waiting, right? While you're getting yourself together, get to know yourself. So when you get here and then try out, go visit, stay in a guest house here and there, feel the vibration, you'll know which one. Think about what you're going to do when you get here. If you're a pensioner, then you got it. If you're a retiree, you got it. You just find your place. If you want to build, do it. There's so many communities that will welcome you. That's one thing I'm gonna say. I feel like the diasporan community in Ghana is very, very welcoming. Everyone, whether it's the folks in the Cape Coast, beautiful people. That they really got a stand up community. They've joined the African American Association of Ghana, the Caribbean Association of Ghana, the prom, I tell you, the Aburi. Like we're good to each other there. We have to be. I love that part. I love that part. So you create the community if you need that. It's not, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So many people did it for you. I went to the Triple AG meeting and I met people that was here for 43 years, 35 years. Oh my gosh. Living and thriving. Never went back or, go back to visit. Having one's life is a blessing. Yes, it is, Joanne. California is a beautiful place, yet dangerous because of the wildfire. Gina, the comedian, also lost her entire life memories. People struggle more in North America than anyone else, and they won't say it sometimes. The memories, you know what, though? And I want people to know, yes, but the memories are so important, and luckily, they really in here. I think things happen for all of us to go to a higher, deeper spiritual place. I just keep saying like, but you got your life. And the memories cannot ever be taken. They can take the picture, but they can't take the picture in your mind. Right? They can take the video that you record yourself live in the country, but they can't take that experience from you in your heart. They can't take that. Your life is everything. Yes, you should go through the missing and the loss. It's devastating. But I just want to make sure when I hear people say that they remember, like, but I got my life. They can still cry and go through the whole thing. They got to do that. But just remember, you have your life. You have your life. And that's a blessing. Right, millions of people are struggling badly in the U.S. for sure. Some people say I'd rather be homeless in my country than a foreign country, like many are doing now, because they go to North America, they think they're going for a better life. You should just go there. Right. Some people, but why are people saying that one? Like, because I hear people, but let's not talk about being homeless at all. That's not the goal. The goal is not to be homeless. No, you're not going to be able to be homeless here. You're not going to be able to be homeless here. They don't have nothing for you like that. So you might actually make it because you realize that. You might be like, oh, shoot, I got to sink or swim in this bad boy. I got to sink or swim. You know what I'm saying? Like, so don't think on that level. Of course, prepare yourself. I say prepare yourself. You're not going here to try to be homeless. Like, you're going here to thrive. So that's why I'm glad I got people. I'm talking to the ones that might have a home that one sister said she got a home that she can rent and she can live off the rental of that. She sure could. She has a home in the U.S. that she can rent out. This is for the younger ones that may not be pensioners. And therefore, she can rent that, and she could. The actual thing that she really could was she paying for rent, when somebody would pay her for her rent or for her mortgage, she really could live off that. She really could. I mean, that's beautiful. Charge a little more so you got to pay your bills there and got extra, you can do it. I'm talking to the pensioners. I'm 57, so I'm talking to the women that's older than me, obviously, but still even in my age group. So someone's already work online, so we could use that. I'm talking about the ones that already got an idea. They already got the money saved from making an investment, or they living off their investment. Some people do. So yeah, those are the ones that could take it a little more seriously, and so those are the ones I'm talking to. But if you want to know how you can make it online, there's other channels that can help you with that. But I'm just talking to the person that says, let's get your mind into it first. Let's get your mind right. So yeah, absolutely, ma'am, absolutely. The money and move back to your country of birth for your health and safety and stress. Yes, absolutely, free. Yes. So we're good. We're good. I really enjoyed this time with y'all. I really enjoyed the conversation having it with you ladies. I thank you. I thank you, Book Miss T Baby, for doing the job, honey. Because honey, wasn't it work? They making you work out here, right? These trolls. But I want to thank you. It's not a gloom and doom. It is a let's look at what is in front of us and decide and not be scared of leaving somewhere where it's more of an illusion of what it is than what it actually is. Let's have faith in ourselves and our Most High that we are good, that we can do this, and let's enjoy ourselves. We deserve to enjoy life. So that's what some of you coming for the enjoyment. Oh, you do, Miss Joanne. I didn't know. She said, I definitely want to move out the U.S., but in my mind, I feel like I don't want to move to any other country without having a certain amount of money to back me up. And that's totally understood. Totally understood. Yes, yes. Thank you, yes. Working hard, girl. Oh, my God, they're horrible. But we got them, and I thank you. Absolutely understood. What country did you move to? Because I love your vibes and encouragement. God bless you in 2025. Miss Aubrey, I live in Ghana, the place that you want to come to. I've been here for 5 years straight, and people ask me if I'm returning back to the U.S. or do I have a missing, and I say no, but it's not a diss on where I come from. It's just the truth. It's I've been here 5 years, so I'm 5 years older than I was when I arrived. So as I age, it seems much more makes more sense with that as well. So yeah, and I hope you join us again. We really enjoyed having you. So, ladies, I love you. I thank you. I will see you in the next one. And I hope you visit my guest house. I know you're coming. I know you're going to visit the guest house. I already know. And as I get it together from the beginning, you're going to be there from the inception till I give birth to it, okay? And you'll see how we do it. I love y'all. I'll see you in the next one. Peace and love.